Given that so many of the folks who follow our ministry or connect to our church, whether individuals that I pastor or I work with, or just individuals who know us and love us around the body, follow our online messages and podcasts and things, I wanted to use that platform for just a few minutes for something very personal. And that is to give just a brief overview of my testimony regarding my cancer diagnosis and present condition, as well as, and this is very important to me, expressing my incredible gratitude and thanksgiving, not only for the mercy and grace of God, which has gotten me where I am now, and of course is the most critical thing, but for the prayers and the acts of love and the gifts of support that have been given to us in so many different ways during this period when I've been battling with cancer, and my family and church family has been suffering with me. Since so many of you have asked about my present health and how I'm doing and when potentially I might be able to be in meetings and services outside of our area again, and because so many of you have called and sent us cards and have given us such an incredible, almost inexpressible measure of love from all around the country and beyond our borders as well, and so many have sacrificially sent us gifts of support, whether items that they sent us, like the beautiful blanket we received from Brother Walker's church, or checks to support us during this time, when of course we're having some extra expenses and things that are not expected. There are so many things that we receive from individuals and from churches that, as I said, from incredibly encouraging words to precious gifts of love, some of which deeply affected me. Especially the cards that we got from so many churches. And if I start to list them, I will end up leaving people out. But everyone from Des Moines to Terre Haute and on and on and on sent us cards that the saints of the church wrote little notes in and signed that mean more to me than you could ever know. We got a beautiful 8x10 picture from Brother Green in the Wichita church that had the whole congregation there and expressing their praying for us. It meant more to me than I can tell you, Brother Green. Thank you. We just recently received a bouquet of flowers from the church in Portland, and I hope my gratitude for that precious expression of love will reach all those Brother Baxter and the folks. And if you brethren who called me during this period hear this message, let me tell you, I cannot begin to express how much it meant to me when some of you who were suffering or have been suffering yourselves, everything from cancer to COVID to just the age-related processes that break the body down, called me multiple times to just check in on me, to let you know you were praying for me and you love me. I could not tell you enough how much it meant to me. Thank you, thank you. And just as important to us, the incredible words of encouragement and love and appreciation, which means more to me than you could possibly know, that were included in the great number of cards that we received. For that reason, I want to give just a brief testimony here about the present situation I'm in and to deeply express my humble and deeply emotional gratitude to all of you who have prayed and are praying for me, for my family, and for the church family that I'm responsible for, and who've so generously given of yourselves in supporting us during this time. We've received so many cards that I could not count them, filled with some of the kindest and most uplifting words you could imagine, as well as gifts and aid of all kinds. Because the conditions at the time were very chaotic, with constant travel to doctor's appointments and tests and scans and treatments and surgeries going on almost constantly, it was impossible for me to keep track of the envelopes, which I would normally have done so that I could get the addresses of the people that were mailing us things so I could send a personal thank you to them and a personal expression of my gratitude. Because of the chaos going on during that time, and sometimes the family would open cards and tell me what was in them because I wasn't able to necessarily read them myself, we ended up without an address for a number of the precious people that sent us cards and gifts, which made it impossible for us to send out a thank you card. Please forgive me if you sent us something, whether a card, a gift, or any other communication, and didn't hear back from me directly letting you know just how deeply thankful I am for your love and your support. I cannot even begin to express the emotion and the appreciation I feel for you and for what you've done for me and my family during this time of crisis. And I pray that all of you who sent us a message, cards, gifts, money, or anything else will know without any doubt how much you mean to us and how much your generosity in all the ways it's been expressed have done for us. God bore us through this process, as brutal as it's been, on angel's wings. And you have been the angels that he used to lift me up and carry me spiritually and emotionally. As far as my testimony of this process and where I'm at presently, I'm not going to go into intimate detail about it. I have talked about that sometime in our services, and I know many of you have probably listened to those messages and have heard some of the details of some of the miraculous things that have occurred, but for the sake of time, I'll just give an overview of what's occurred that is far less dramatic without all the incredible details. After about 2 years of health issues that I was dealing with, that the doctors could not figure out or resolve or even diagnose, they just kept giving me different prescriptions to try. A scan was finally done in October of 2021 that revealed that there was invasive and aggressive cancer in several different parts of my body. The diagnosis at that time was dire, including a very limited lifespan, as well as no possibility of any surgery or any treatment that could remove or bring the cancer into remission. The only option was aggressive chemotherapy, and that option was presented as, at best, only going to extend my life a short bit longer than what I might expect without it. Despite that diagnosis, the chemotherapy almost immediately began shrinking the cancer, and my CEA numbers, that can be markers for the presence of aggressive cancer being in your body, almost immediately began slowly dropping. The doctors were stunned at the progress, and at first, when I began to tell them that I was feeling different in my body in terms of some of the symptoms I had, they said it couldn't be the chemotherapy. It takes far longer for chemotherapy to even have that kind of an effect. And they continued to state that my condition was not reversible and it was not surgically correctable. But after about 2 months of chemotherapy, the multiple cancerous masses in both parts of my body had gone down more than 50% in size. At that point, one of the top liver surgeons, and the liver is where the bulk of my cancer was present and the cancer that was life-threatening to me, saw my scans and said that he believed he could remove or burn up with microwaves all the cancer that was in the liver, which again was something that multiple doctors said was completely impossible, even if the chemotherapy did shrink the cancer some. That surgery took place in April, and it was, blessed be the name of the Lord, completely successful. I then underwent surgery on the other mass of cancer in my body in July, and God be glorified, it also was completely successful. And the scans following those surgeries have, thus far, shown no cancer presently visible and active in my body. I will have one additional surgery in the near future. I've got scans and things coming up in the middle of September, and then they're going to schedule this final surgery, hopefully at the latest for sometime in October, though we don't have a date yet. That'll be to essentially repair some of what the last surgery had to do to my body to remove the cancer. Then I'll continue to have periodic scans to make sure the cancer hasn't returned. It's our prayer, of course, and I know you'll be praying with us that it remains in remission and I can return back to my full strength. Other than when I've been recovering from surgeries for a brief time, and God has aided me in having pretty quick recoveries after some very difficult and very aggressive surgeries. My recovery time before I've been able to be in services and moving around has only been a few weeks at the most with each of these surgeries. So other than those brief recovery times, I've been able to generally continue in my normal capacity in the ministry. Though due to several factors that we're hoping this final surgery will resolve and that were caused by the last surgery, and to a slightly compromised immune system, which is getting stronger, I haven't been up to traveling yet or to be able to sit in any kind of an extended meetings. I haven't traveled anywhere other than to doctor's appointments, some of which are in Columbus, which takes us about an hour to travel to. But I have been blessed to have had folks that have come here, the Precious Green Assembly, who came in strength and just lifted me up right in between the two surgeries that I had to undergo, and my brother and my friend, Brother Moore, who has been a constant source of strength and support for me, and a number of other ministers who have come and helped us in different ways. Though I could never express my thanks for all of them, I want to specifically say how much I appreciate right after I received the diagnosis and was under a barrage of different appointments and activities that Brother Colin Reed came and took one of our weeknight services here in Mansfield and brought such a beautiful and precious spirit into that service and lifted up our church and lifted me up when we needed that support. And as I've said, we've had others in our area. Brother Moore has been a constant companion to me in this, and I could never thank him enough for the love and support he's given us, and so many others. We just had the honor and blessing of having Brother Daves and several of the saints come and visit with us for an evening just about a week ago, and some of the precious folks from other churches have been with us in the past weeks. And I could never tell you how much it means to me to see your faces and to hear your words and to experience your love. It is my hope and it's my prayer that all the remaining conditions, which are not cancer-related, they're related to the type of damage that's done to your body with certain surgeries and some of the processes, will be resolved by the end of this year or early next year, since I long to see my brothers and sisters in the churches in person. And because of the COVID shutdowns and cancellations of meetings that occurred for almost 2 years, and my own health crisis, which was overlapping with that and now has gone on for almost the last year, I haven't seen many of you, at least not outside our area in Ohio or outside those who've come to visit during this time, for the past 2 or 3 years, which is unbelievable to me. And I want to thank each of you and all of the churches in this brief update, but far better yet, I want to thank you in person when I'm able to do so for your prayers, your love, your support, your shared strength, and all that you've done for me, for my family, and for the church that I pastor and the churches we work with. Thank you. I love you and I deeply appreciate you.